Hey, this is Shane, the host of From the Shadows podcast, and I'm here with Jason, the super producer.
Greetings, everybody.
And the one and the only resident skeptic, the Ozark Howler.
Hey, I'm here.
Can you guys tell the excitement of the Howler?
Well,
no, all right.
You know me, man. I try to underpromise and overdeliver, right? So I don't need catchy. Hey, I don't need catchy phrases. I don't need snappy hooks. Ain't no clickbait with me. Okay, it's the real deal.
There you go.
Well, for all of our new listeners, since we're a new member of the Odyssey Radio Network, we'd like to invite everybody to stick around after this short intro and check out what we like to call the Midweek Howl. And what the Midweek Howl is it's just our little story time with the Ozark Howler, in which we try to lighten your week up a little bit with a 10-15 minutes of laughter. So stick around, laugh with us, enjoy the stories. No harm, no foul. So just be ready to go to a world that you probably hoped didn't exist in the world.
And expect to be entertained.
Expect to be entertained. So you got it. Do you have any warnings or?
No, you know what though, I wasn't. But what I was going to say is, so maybe after I just told you there's a hook, there's no hook. There's a hook. You know, I think I said it earlier on the last one I did with you guys. You know, I got a story for almost everything. You know, because I was on the street for almost 30 years, so I got a story for everything. So if you got a subject, send it to From the Shadows podcast, and I'll tell you a story about
it. Yeah. And for those new listeners, the Howler has 30 years of being a sheriff, a highway patrolman, air marshal, a homeland security, and probably a lifetime of just being an all-around funny dude. So
redneck, man, redneck. There you go, redneck.
So we hope that you give this little segment a chance and go check out the Howler. And like you said, if you got some stories that you guys are interested in, asking about, or if
he's going to have to send it to you guys because I'm not on social media, so it's got to go.
Yeah, he's not on social media. So if you really want to say some good stuff about him, we'll share it with him. And if you say some bad stuff about him, don't waste your time. He won't ever hear it. He's kind of fragile, so we won't let him. So with that, thanks for welcoming us onto the Odyssey Radio Network, and we hope that you enjoy the show.
There was another time, this is how low rent this is. There was another time me and another deputy went out there, and because it was a man with a gun, and this old boy had a 30-06, which I don't know what 30-06s are like in Ohio, but you get in South Missouri, and they are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, that is what the M1 Garand is. You know, we fought World War II with the 30-06, and anyway, this old boy was going to shoot another old boy over I think it was a $65 car. It was a Chevy. Was it a Citation? Was it a Citation or a Chevette that the radio was sideways in? Remember the one of them had a radio?
I had I think it's a 1980 Chevy Citation.
Was the radio sideways in it?
Radio sideways, yep. And I got hit by an ambulance.
Oh,
man!
That's a fantastic story, man. I got hit by an ambulance.
So did they buy you a new car?
No. My one buddy was mad at me. He said, "You know what, dude?" He goes, "We got all high school to play car tag, and you just won the game. None of us are ever going to be able to top getting hit by an ambulance."
So how did you get hit by an ambulance?
Well, I was a high school kid. It was in the middle of summer, and we had weightlifting, football. And you know how they always tell you don't go chasing after an ambulance. Okay?
No, but that's okay.
Well, because you're kind of looking for trouble. So I'm a 16-year-old kid driving this Chevy Citation. I head out of town. I see this ambulance, and I need to go another way to where I'm going, but I can still go and get where I'm going if I follow this ambulance. okay? Because we're lifting, we were in town, but my school was out in the country. All
Right.
And so I get out there, and pretty soon I see there's this long line of traffic, and they're doing. Somebody's obviously hurt up there. They were doing somebody was cutting the grass. The county was with the mower, and a car hit the mower, and sadly,
Ooh.
I do think somebody ended up passing away in the accident.
You're right. Yeah.
However, I'm a 16-year-old kid, no cell phones, and I'm sitting in line of cars, and I'm going to be late to weightlifting. So all I'm worried about is, man, the Coach Phil Ader's going to kill me. What's going on? So I don't know enough to really look back before I pull out of this line of traffic, because idiot me doesn't think anybody could be coming
from behind me,
because it's a 2-lane road and the other way's blocked off. So I look, but I don't look really good. And I go to pull out. Here comes this ambulance out of nowhere and sideswipes me. Okay.
You didn't look really good enough to see an ambulance. I could see where an ambulance would sneak up on you.
With its loud siren.
But that's it. It didn't have.
He didn't have his stuff on.
Oh man!
And he went out there on his own because he heard there was an accident, and they didn't call that. There's already an ambulance out there. This guy went out on his own, same as me. Followed another
rogue ambulance, and rogue one, medic one.
So I knew as soon as the sheriff comes back and it's like, man, what's going on? And the ambulance driver goes, well, I looked down to turn my siren off, and this kid was pulling out in front of me.
Sounds like to me he took his eyes off the road.
Didn't matter. So of course I get cited. My dad is not happy. Okay. And fast forward 2 years later, and it's about a week before. It's in the summer again. It's about a week before I'm going off to play college football at Cincinnati.
Okay? Right.
And me and Todd. So the guy was on. Todd was on with us last week.
Yeah.
We decide, hey, we're going to go out, because back then toilet paper was a good toilet paper for people's
That
house.
was before it was so valuable.
It was before it was valuable. Like throwing blocks of.
That's how wasteful
gold.
our generation was. That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And so me and Todd we're gonna go out and we're gonna toilet paper this girl's house that I actually dated for a little bit in high school.
And what exactly did that prove? Because I never toilet papered anything.
It was just
I got you kind of thing.
I was up on your property, and I'm it was a pain in the neck for the people the next morning to have to clean up, and that sort of thing. And it was always the danger of getting caught without really doing anything too bad.
Right.
So Todd and I decide we're going to go toilet paper this girl's house. Oh. And there's like a little neighborhood out in the country, across the state. It's like a 2-lane state highway. And she lived in the other group of houses across this road. And I was driving this old Nissan Maxima that my parents had, that they handed down to us kids, that my sister wrecked and then I wrecked. Again, I was not a very good driver. But it was
still drivable.
Still drivable, the front end still bashed in. So we park it over by my high school, same guy I was afraid of getting in trouble with for being late to it. So I park it not in his driveway, but on the other side of his hedges. And I left the keys are in it. I had money in the glove or the ashtray. We go over, we toilet paper, this girl's house, just blasted. And we're coming back across the big yard, across the road. We start coming down this little road where we can see where my car is parked, and there's a sheriff's deputy sitting there.
Mm.
And I look over to say something to Todd. He's taking off. He already took off running. I'm like, oh, come on. I got to go back to the car.
Right.
Okay? I got to go back to the car. So I walk up on the car, and sheriff's deputy says, hey. I can hear him on. He goes, hey, you Shane? And I go, yeah. And I'm thinking, this ain't good if he already knows my name.
Right. You ran your place.
He gets, no, it wasn't in my name. He clicks on the radio. Now, mind you, it's like 2 a.m. And he goes, yeah. He goes, you can go ahead and let Mr. Grove know I found his son. I'm like, oh no, I'm done. Okay. and so the reason he even stopped was the neighbor, whose people we went to school with, saw this car with a bashed in front end, keys thrown on the money, and thought it was a stolen car. Okay.
Because car thieves always abandon the stolen cars with money in it.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
That's totally what they do.
So he has me in the car, and he's like, and he goes, well, why'd you park it here? Well, I'm not going to lie. I'm already.
He said I snuck over to that girl's house.
I go, me and my buddy went over there we toilet papered their house, and he goes, oh, yeah? He goes, well, let's go over and see if they want to press charges.
Oh, gosh.
I'm like, what? So now it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and we're driving over to this girl, because of course they have no idea we just toilet papered their house.
Right.
And he rolls in, spotlights on the front door, banging on the door, and the mom and
he got out and woke them up.
Oh yeah, with me behind him, and they're like, they open the door and they see me, and they're like, hey Shane, what's going on? and the sheriff goes, hey, I got Shane here, he, toilet papered you guys' house, and I just wanted to make sure you guys didn't want to press charges. And they looked at him like, for toilet paper in our house? And he goes, well, yeah, I just, I got to check. And they're like, no.
You woke us up, yeah.
You woke us up at 2 o'clock tomorrow? And he goes, well, how about if he comes back tomorrow and cleans it up? And they go, okay, all right. And so I'm like, Jesus Christ, because I know now I'm going to be grounded a week before I'm going to college. I'm not going to get to drive the car tomorrow.
You're freaking going to college, dude. Your old man can't ground you. You're going to college out of town. You think Teddy Bridgewater, he went to Cincinnati, didn't he? You think he worried?
He did.
Didn't he?
No.
I thought he went to, are you sure?
I think he went to Louisville. But no.
It's all the same.
You're talking about a guy who ended up in the pros versus a guy who ended up in the
point is,
Liverpool.
when you get to go to college, like real college, I lived at home and went to college. So
my point is Diamond Dave Grove was called Diamond Dave Grove for a reason, because he was pretty hard. Okay, but anyway, I knew I wasn't going to get to, I'm like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So this dude's just smiling because he knows, number one, I'm in trouble at home, and he knows he just got me.
Just be lucky he wasn't sitting there with his knee on your neck smiling.
Yeah.
He gets me back to my car, and he's like, well, you better drive that straight on home, and whatever. Well, guess who that, I didn't realize it at the time. I found out 2 days later. Guess who that sheriff's deputy was? He was the dude driving the ambulance that hit me. Yeah.
And he knew it. That's why he's mad about it. Because you got him in trouble. Because you got him in, even though you got the citation, he's the one that got in trouble.
That's bingo.
You can't be passing a bunch of people without your red lights and siren. You're not an emergency vehicle if your red lights and siren are not activated.
Bingo. And he knew it. I found out 2 days later from my uncle, who was a fireman, and overheard the dude laughing, talking about it. And he's like, oh, God. So there you go, man. It just shows you. And then Todd comes running up after the sheriff. He's been hiding in the bushes. Let me take the bullet. And I'm like, dude, I ought to make you walk home. He just hopped in the car and goes, hey, man, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah. The guy's dad go over there with the garbage truck and pick it up.
Well, the worst part was the next day, I had to tell my then girlfriend that I had to go over to my ex-girlfriend's house and clean up the toilet paper. She wouldn't know what I was doing over there at 2 o'clock.
You know. Never mind. There you go. Says it all right there. You had 2 different girlfriends by the time before you even went to college. So.
Oh, that was they were just 2 of a couple.
Uh-huh.
Ladies and gentlemen, a final word. Please visit us on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/From the Shadows Podcast, and on our Instagram page at instagram.com/From the Shadows Podcast. You can visit our webpage at FromTheShadowsPodcast.GoDaddySites.com, or contribute to our Facebook discussion page called After the Shadows, and tweet us on our Twitter feed at twitter.com/podcast_from. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to hearing from you all. Until next time, never shy away from the darkness or what may be lurking in the shadows. We are out.